Welcome everyone to another edition of the Mario and Dennis Show. As you can see, I'm riding solo again. Dennis is off somewhere on some tropical island, or perhaps in some neighborhood park in New Bedford. Now, as anticipated, the fourth installment on Transformers 4: Age of Extinction broke box office records for 2014, grossing more than any other movie debut in 2014. But the year's not over yet, you never know. It did open with weekend sales of 100 million. Now they're predicting this to be the biggest movie of the year. And keep in mind that this is the first of a new trilogy. So it looks like Marky Wahlberg will be busy for the next several years. For those of you who haven't had a chance to see the clip from last week's show, here it is.
Bring it up! All the way!
Dad, you can't keep spending money on junk.
I can break it down, strip it for parts.
This stuff is what's gonna put you through college. Something in here needs to make this family some money. Come on, you old wreck. Judgment Day. What the hell happened to you?
Look, it's not normal steel. I don't think it's a truck at all. I think we just found a transformer.
Dad!
I'm gonna ask you this once. Where is Optimus Prime?
You know, we got a rule about messing with people from Texas.
A new era has begun. The age of the Transformers is over.
Don't you get it? We don't need you anymore.
After my family.
What did I tell you? Incredible movie. I think, if you haven't had a chance to go out there and see it, by all means, go and enjoy yourself this weekend. Now, with all of his free time on his hands now that Mark Wahlberg has taken over the Transformers franchise, Shia LaBeouf is getting himself in trouble. He was recently asked to leave New York famed Studio 54 Theater during a cabaret event. He was escorted out for causing a disturbance, which included threats of violence and foul language. He's now entered rehab. Perhaps he can have Indio Downey's old room. But speaking of Indio Downey, Robert Downey Jr.'s son, he was recently arrested for possession of cocaine. The 20-year-old had already served time in rehab, but apparently it didn't do him any good. Guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, even in Hollywood. Luckily for Robert Downey Jr., he did pick himself up and he brushed himself off and he brought his career back to life. Very fortunate. You don't hear a lot of those stories, so kudos to Robert Downey. Now attention all Planet of the Apes fans. Next week another installment hits theaters near you. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Now I'm a big fan. I always have been. I loved it from when I was a child to the big movie productions. The amazing technology and makeup artistry has brought situations and characters to life. I'm a big fan, I will remain a big fan, and I hope you do too. Let's watch this clip.
is created by scientists in a lab. You can't blame the apes.
Who the hell else am I gonna blame?
We need to give him a chance.
Welcome to animals.
Please. I've seen things. I've seen the way they are. They want what we want to survive.
Caesar, home. This is your home. Your home.
Are you aware they are going to turn on you?
They don't want a war. No! Don't shoot! Caesar, you have to go.
Go. Where? Apes! Together! Strong!
War, it's not what you want. There must be another way.
War has already begun.
What did I tell you? That was a fantastic clip, and it looks like a great movie. Cannot wait to see it. Again, that opens next Friday. Now, Chris Pratt, who recently starred in Guardians of the Galaxy, along with a few other big-name actors, will be starring in the 2015 release of Jurassic World. Now, very little has been revealed, but we do know this, that there will be one new dinosaur created by the park's genetic scientists. The gaps in her DNA sequence will be filled with DNA from other species, much like the genome in the first film, which was completed with the frog DNA. Apparently, this creature is bigger and louder than anything you've seen in any of the Jurassic Park films. Now, it's funny enough, Steven Spielberg will not be directing this new series. Instead, Colin Trevorrow, who directed Safety Not Guaranteed, will be overseeing the entire project. This yet is another anticipated movie that will take theaters by storm. Now, we've talked a lot about movie sequels, but what about video games? Well, several weeks ago, CJ brought us a sneak peek of some of the up-and-coming video games, but one that needed to be mentioned is Halo 5 Guardians. Now, for all of you Halo 5 fans, Master Chief is still in the picture. He still remains the main character, but is joined with a few new characters that lend themselves to the story. With better graphics and video engineering, this must-play video game will surely satisfy all the Halo appetites out there. Let's take a quick look.
To find him, you have to forget the stories. Forget the legends. You have to do more than walk in his footsteps. For he is more than the sum of his actions. I tell you this, not because I trust you, Agent Clark. But because all our lives are at stake. Because the seeds of our future are sown in his past.
What did I tell you? The graphics are phenomenal, the video games are getting better and better each year. If you are a Halo fan, I encourage you, go out and get this video game. Now, if you haven't heard already, co-hosts Sherry Shepard and Jenny McCarthy will be leaving The View. Now, rumors have it that they were fired, but that hasn't been confirmed yet. As a matter of fact, Sherri Shepherd did tell CNN during a recent interview that she had been wanting to leave the show for a while. They do have a list of potential co-hosts, and there's also talk that the show will be completely revamped and that Barbara may be coming back. But yet, that's just another rumor, or is it? Looks like the closet door has been opened for Apple CEO Tim Cook when a panelist, Simon Hobbs, on CNBC accidentally outed the CEO on national television. Now, it's okay to say you're not gay and stay in the closet, but you have to be very careful because somehow, some way, it always gets out. Now, there was always speculation that he was gay, and he had even supported some of the gay bills that were passed by Obama, but he never came forward sexually. Now, he doesn't have to. Thanks to Simon, he did it for him. Let's take a look at this awkward moment on CNBC.
Column this weekend looks at Lord Brown at BP.
Yes, former CEO of BP.
Interesting cultural corporate story.
Well, I interviewed him last week. He has written a book in which he's described the frankly tortured life he led as a gay CEO of a major company. But what I find so surprising about this is he becomes the first person ever at a Fortune 500 or FTSE 100 company to publicly acknowledge that he's gay. And after all the advances in gay civil rights, you would think CEOs especially are measured by objective criteria, which is financial performance. We even have, pro football players on television acknowledging they're gay.
Look at marriage at the state level, yeah.
So what I'm really exploring in the column and using his experience as a model is why would this be in the corporate world? And what does this mean? And I just found it very, very fascinating. And of course, there are gay CEOs of major companies, and I reached out to many of them, and I have to say I got an extremely cool reception. Not one would allow to be named.
Well, I think Tim Cook is fairly open about the fact that he's gay at the head of Apple, isn't he? Oh dear, was that an error?
Wow. I don't know.
I thought not.
You just, yeah.
I think he's very open about it.
The New York Times tried very hard to bring that to the fore in the recent story.
I don't want to comment about anybody who might or might not be, because I'm not going to out anybody, and I called a lot of people, and no one at any major company would allow their names to be used.
I look forward to reading the column tomorrow. Jim, thanks so much.
Every time I see that clip, you have to laugh because when he talks about him being gay, silence. You can hear a pin drop. Mouth drops to the table or two. Very funny. Meshach Taylor, known for his role as Anthony on Designing Women, passed away Saturday at the age of 67. He died from a long battle with cancer. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his family. Well, this wraps up another edition of the Mario and Dennis Show. Again, without Dennis, when will you be back here? We now close with a brilliant rendition of Spell Block Tango featuring our favorite Disney characters by YouTube mastermind Todrick Hall. I'm Mario, and enjoy. Have a great night.
Spots. 6. Fish. Figaro. Wishes. Spots.
And now, the 6 merry murderesses of the Captain Hook County Jail in their rendition of the Spell Block Tango.
Spots. 6. Fish. Figaro. Wishes. Spots. 6. Fish. Figaro. Wishes. Spots. 6. Fish. Figaro. Wishes. He had it coming. He had it coming. He only had himself to blame. If you'd have been there, if you'd have seen it, I bet you would have done the same. Spot 6 fish. Wishes. Spot 6 fish. Wishes. You know how people have these little habits that get you down? Like Jasper and Horace. They didn't know their fabrics. I asked for spots. No, not stripes, not dots, spots. So I came home this one day and I'm really irritated and I'm looking for a little bit of sympathy, and there's Jasper and Horace lying on the couch drinking a beer with 10 yards of dotted fabric. No, not spots, dots. So I said to him, you buy me dots one more time? And they did. So I took the shotgun off the wall and I fired 2 warning shots into their heads. They had it coming, they had it coming. They only had themselves to blame. If you'd have been there, if you'd have seen it, I bet you would have done the same. Spot 6, wishes. Spot 6, wishes.
I met Doc in a faraway land about 2 years ago. He told me he was single and we hit it off right away. So we started living together. He'd go to work in the little jewel mines and come home singing hi-ho. I'd fix him a drink, we'd have dinner, and then I found out. Single, he told me. Single my glass. Not only was he married, oh no, he had 6 men. One of those dwarves, you know. So that night, when he came home from work, I fixed him a drink as usual. You know, some guys just can't hold their apple juice.
He had it coming, he had it coming. He took the flower in its prime, and then he used it, and he abused it. It was a murder, but not a crime.
Now I'm standing over the cauldron, mixing up some catfish for dinner, minding my own business. In storms Prince Eric in a jealous rage. "You've been screwing King Triton," he says. He was crazy, and he kept on screaming, "You've been screwing King Triton!" And then he ran into my tentacles. He ran into my tentacles 8 times. If you'd have been there, if you'd have seen it, I bet you would have done the same.
Dumbilla Doc Marcus Mouse, Pluto Jr., Amelia Field Mouse, Archimedes, Babette, Tiger Lily, Madame Grande Lavouche, Humphrey the Bear, Drusilla, La Fou, La Mirasima, Bonsai, Krunk, Sluvutsu.
Yes, but did you do it?
Not guilty.
My brother Mufasa and I had this circus act, and my lady Sarabi used to tag along with us. Now for the last number in our act, we did these 20 acrobatic tricks in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, splits, spread eagles, backflips, flip-flops, one right after the other. So this one night before the show, I go down to the Hotel Figaro, hanging with the hyenas, having a few laughs, and we run out of zebra, so I ran out to get some. I come back into the den, and there's Sarabi and Mufasa doing number 17, the spread eagle. Well, I was in such a state of shock, I completely blacked out. I don't remember a thing. It wasn't until later when I was washing the blood off my paws I even knew they were dead. They had it coming, they had it coming. You tell me that I was wrong. They had it coming. They had it coming. They had it coming all along. I didn't do it, but if I'd done it, how could you tell me that I was wrong?
I loved King Stefan more than you could possibly say. He was an artistic guy, sensitive and full of wishes. But he was always trying to find himself. He'd go out every night looking for himself, and on the way, he found Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather. I guess you could say we broke up because of artistic differences. He saw himself as alive, and I saw him dead.
The dirty bum bum.